Hi, welcome to ladder safety training. Although this training video only takes about 30 minutes to complete, you and your team are highly encouraged to pause and review the ladders at your workplace. What types of ladders do you have? What condition are they in? And where you might need to use them? We are going to cover some pretty important points about using ladders safely, so be sure to review this video at least annually. The California Occupational Safety and Health Administration, CalOSHA, requires that every employee receives ladder safety training. In California, portable ladder safety is regulated by Title 8 of the California Code of Regulations, Sections 1675, 3276, 3287, and 3413. This video is not intended to replace an instructor and should only be used as a training aid. A supervisor or other competent instructor must be present to pause the video, answer student questions, and facilitate conversation about the safe use of ladders. We will cover the following requirements in this training: the importance of using ladders safely, the selection of ladders, maintenance, inspection and removal of damaged ladders, setting up ladders, climbing and working on ladders, factors contributing to falls, and prohibited uses. The importance of using ladders safely. Do any of these numbers surprise you? Approximately 300 people die each year from ladder-related injuries. About 165,000 Americans require medical treatment for ladder-related injuries each year. Of those, almost 10% result in hospitalization. The most frequent injuries were fractures to legs and feet, and most accidents happen at home. Let's put that last slide into perspective. The most common ladder used is an 8-foot ladder, and the highest step to safely stand on would be approximately 6 foot high. A fall from 6 feet can generate as much as 2,400 pounds of force. That is a lot. A fall from a ladder is a lot more dangerous than you may think. People have died from falling even as little as 4 feet off a ladder. Now, selecting a ladder. Employees shall only use Caltrans-provided ladders. Make sure you are comfortable ascending and descending the ladder provided. You cannot use a ladder brought from home, and definitely not a ladder you found on the freeway. Always use a ladder that is appropriate for the job task. Ladders shall be selected, and their use restricted, to the purpose for which the ladder is designed. Consideration shall be given to the following: the length or height required, the working load, the duty rating, the work environment, the worker's position for the task to be performed, and the frequency of use the ladder will be subjected to. Ladders shall be used according to the duty classifications in the table on screen. Do you know what the duty rating is on the ladders in your workplace? Duty rating stickers can be found on the side of ladders. If missing or illegible, it shall be replaced or removed from service immediately. Now would be a good opportunity to pause this video and take a look at the ladders you have. Go ahead and pause now. I can wait as long as you need. Many ladders are color-coded. Heavy-duty ladders, Type 1, are blue and have a working load limit of 250 pounds. Extra heavy-duty ladders, Type 1A, are orange and have a working load limit of 300 pounds. Remember, it is not just your body weight. Also factor in such things as tool belts, gear, or other equipment you may have on the ladder with you. Ladders shall be maintained and in good condition at all times. The joints between the steps and side rails shall be tight. All hardware and fittings shall be securely attached. Movable parts shall operate freely without binding or undue play. All safety and warning stickers must always be legible, or the ladder should be removed from service. Ladders shall be inspected monthly by the supervisor for visible defects and after any occurrence that could affect safe use. Always inspect ladders before you use them. Even after a monthly inspection, something may have happened to the ladder since the inspection. Remember, you are the one climbing the ladder. Just like you would pre-op your vehicle before operating, the same goes for a ladder. Always check for cracks in wood or aluminum. Look for broken welds, loose nuts, bolts, and screws, crimps in the metal and stress fractures, or splintering in fiberglass. In these pictures, the top fiberglass ladder had stress fractures in the fiberglass midway up the rails, and as the person was climbing the ladder, the rails gave way and collapsed. This aluminum ladder in the lower image has a bend and crimp in the side rail which weakens it and could cause it to break while a person is on the ladder. Here are the various parts of a ladder: the top, the tray, spreader braces, cross braces, rails, steps, gussets, and at the bottom, shoes. This is a typical extension ladder. The fly is the section of ladder that extends up. The halyard, or rope and pulley, are used to raise the fly. There are rungs and rails just like the previous example. The dogs or pawls are what locks the fly at the desired height. And finally, at the butt of the ladder, or heel, there are foot pads. Inspections, care, and use. Templates for ladder inspections can be found online. I placed a link to one in the video description. You can always ask your management for one too. Just like fire extinguishers and eye wash stations, these inspections should be done monthly. These shall be legible and readily available at all times. If a defect is discovered, take the ladder out of service until it can be repaired. If the ladder can't be repaired, you must destroy it. Do not throw a ladder in the dumpster in one piece. Always destroy it to prevent the ladder from being used again. Use a loader bucket, a sawzall, or other means to destroy it. Defective ladders shall be tagged or marked as "Danger, do not use," or other similar language. Ladders shall be free of oil, grease, or any slippery material. Wooden ladders shall not be painted with anything other than a transparent material. Question: if you painted a wooden ladder with anything other than transparent paint, why might that be a problem? Well, the solid color paint could hide cracks or other damage to the wood. The ladder may have hidden defects, and you might not know. Be sure you find a ladder that is appropriate for the job. Portable ladders shall not be overloaded when used. Ladders shall not be placed on boxes or barrels, on equipment, on furniture, or other unstable base used to obtain additional height. Let's pause a moment to take a look at your ladders. Have they been inspected recently? Are there any defects you can find? Are the manufacturer's labels legible? Let's pause here to check. Setting up ladders. Non-conductive ladders shall be used in locations where the ladder or user may contact unprotected energized electrical conductors or equipment. Never use aluminum ladders while doing electrical work. Ladders shall be placed on a firm and level footing. Ladders shall not be used on ice, snow, or slippery surfaces unless suitable means to prevent slippage is in place. Uneven ground is common along the shoulders of our roads. This is an issue for crews that deal with the installation and repair of signs. If a suitable surface is unavailable, you should not utilize a ladder at that location. These pictures show some examples of approved leg jacks attached to a ladder. Approved leg jacks may be used on some uneven surfaces. Do not place ladders in doorways, driveways, or locations where it could be displaced, unless you protect your workspace with a suitable barricade. You don't want someone opening that door while you are on the ladder. Maybe you are in a warehouse or shop that may have a forklift driving through. Be sure to protect your workspace. A lookout could be utilized for protection where cones or other barriers are insufficient. Ladders shall be placed with two rails supported equally so the ladder does not wobble as you climb on it. Although, an approved single support attachment may be used. The two pictures on the left show some approved clamps that can be attached to secure the ladder. Extension ladders shall always be erected so that the top section, the fly section, is above and resting on the bottom section with the rung locks engaged. On older ladders, it is sometimes hard to determine if the ladder is forward or backward or even upside down because older extension ladders had round rungs. Newer ladders have flat rungs that are usually at a 45-degree angle, so you can only use the ladder one way. Two-section extension ladders shall not be used when the overlap between the sections is less than the minimum overlap on this table. The 4-to-1 rule. Where possible, non-self-supporting ladders shall be used at a pitch so that the horizontal distance from the top support to the foot of the ladder is 1/4 of the working length of the ladder. Otherwise, it shall be tied, blocked, held, or otherwise secured to prevent slipping. If the ladder is out too far, it could change the load capacity and cause weakness in the center of the ladder. If the ladder base is too close to the wall, it could fall back when you reach the top. This is an example of a 1:4 ratio. For every 4 feet up, you need 1 foot out from your step-off point. Okay, pop quiz. If you were using a 16-foot ladder, how far from the wall should the base be set? The base would need to be 4 feet from the wall. Ladders shall not be tied or fastened together to provide longer sections unless the ladders are designed for such use and equipped with the necessary hardware fittings. Never duct tape or wire a ladder together. Always find a ladder that is right for the job. Climbing and working on ladders. When ascending or descending a ladder, the user must face the ladder and maintain contact at 3 points at all times. Employees shall be prohibited from carrying equipment or materials which prevent the safe use of ladders. You should never carry anything in your hands while using a ladder. Once you are on the landing, you can retrieve material using a rope and bucket. A tool belt may be used to carry small hand tools and parts. Ladders are to be used as they were designed. Climbing on cross-bracing, placing on boxes, barrels, or other unstable bases to obtain additional height is prohibited. Employees shall not sit, kneel, or stand on the top cap or the step just below the top cap. The pail shelf or rear cross-bracing is prohibited as well. Exception: employees may stand on the step below the top cap provided it is located 18-inch under the top cap. As you can see, the ladder with the green check has the first step 18-inch below the top cap, so you are allowed to stand on that step. You might see ladders like this in a warehouse or at the wash rack. Employees shall not stand or work off the top 3 rungs of a single or extension ladder, unless there are members of the structure that provide a firm handhold, or the employee is protected by a personal fall protection device. In this picture, she could lose her balance very easily, but if she has 3 rungs in front of her as required, she would be able to use the ladder for stability. Side rails shall extend not less than 36 inches above the upper landing surface. If you just count 3 rungs above the landing, you will have 36-inch because the rungs are 12 apart. Employees shall work near the middle of rungs and shall not overreach. A simple rule of thumb is to keep your belt buckle in the center of the ladder at all times. If overreach is necessary, then the top of the ladder shall be secured and employees shall wear personal fall protection. Ladders up to 15 feet in length can be carried by 1 person. If the weight of the ladder is too heavy for 1 person, ask for help from a coworker to move the ladder. Ladders exceeding 15 feet in length should always be carried by 2 people. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Work smarter, not harder. Okay, time for a field trip. Take a look around your facility or work location. Identify a few spots where you may need to set up a ladder. Do you have the right ladder for the work? Will you need a spotter or some physical barrier to protect your ladder? What are some hazards specific to your locations? Go ahead and pause again. Factors contributing to falls. Reasons people fall from ladders include, but are not limited to, haste, sudden movement, lack of attention, improper footwear, and the user's physical condition. Prohibited uses. Do not use a ladder in ways other than how it was designed to be used. Never climb on rear cross-bracing. Never use in a horizontal position as a platform, runway, or scaffold. Do not move, shift, or extend a ladder while occupied, unless the ladder is designed and recommended for this purpose by the manufacturer. Never walk under any ladder. Do not stand on the top cap. Read and follow all warning labels. One thing to remember when inspecting ladders is all safety stickers must be visible and readable. Cal-OSHA requires that all decals be on the ladder, or the ladder must be removed from service. Let's review. Keep your workspace clear. Always set ladders on firm level ground. And be aware of locations where your ladder could be displaced by someone opening a door or moving equipment. The ladder on the right doesn't extend 3 feet above the landing and was set at too steep an angle. It is not appropriate for the work. The longer ladder is okay for the work, but the person holding the ladder chose to stand on the bottom instead of holding it. Now the combined weight likely exceeds the 300-pound capacity of the ladder. In this scenario, there is no place to tie off. Using a spotter to hold the ladder is good practice. Do not overreach. Keep your belt buckle in the center of the ladder at all times. If the worker needs to reach further, both the ladder and the worker shall be tied off. If you are the person holding the ladder, be aware of objects that could fall. This ladder is not being used per the manufacturer's instructions. Step ladders shall not be used as single ladders or in a partially closed position. The ladder is not secured. It doesn't extend 3 feet above the landing. Also, it doesn't have an appropriate landing. You shouldn't have to crawl under or through a handrail. Just like working near the highway, be aware of your surroundings and plan an escape route. Should something go wrong here, this worker could be impaled by rebar. There appears to be a radio, a measuring tape, and a pencil in hand. Remember to put away any tools in your hands prior to ascending or descending a ladder. Side rails shall extend not less than 36 inches above the upper landing surface. In this case, the ladder would have to be tied off. Once this ladder is tied off, the lower landing must be improved as well. The lower landing is not appropriate as is. Note that both of these ladders extend 3 rungs above the landing, and the contractor has elected to secure the ladders. Always take the time to work safely. There is no job so urgent or task so important that we can't take the time to perform our job safely. Thank you for watching. This concludes ladder safety training. Be sure to submit your completion record appropriately.